Hello, welcome back. I don't know why you're here, and God knows I don't know why I'm here. Beyond that, a long time ago, two people had a very irresponsible night, and I'm paying for it for the rest of my life. Alright, so, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time today, so we're gonna try and get through some soul builds and hope for the best. Can I just say, love the dramatic music for the pre-event here for right before Susano and SPE Susabi. A+, I love the music in this game. Everybody involved in the music for this game, you guys deserve raises. I'm sorry. The music is amazing in this. You people knock it out the park. But now we digress. So what I've got here for you today is just a couple of soul builds. You might remember Kisei here, because I've done a video with him previously in a combat test when it was an all SSR Palooza. No, not SSR. What am I saying? SR Palooza. I'm a dumbass and the coffee isn't kicked in yet. And it's late. Go figure. But I recently built a second version, a second setup for him, and I have to say, very good. Of course, we also got Hoshiguma here, who our favorite, him with Ameona. Mama, that is an evil team, and I really love it. And two Onikiris for you. Regular Onikiri, of course. Also, can I just say, this is a long time come, but props to the friend who actually gifted me Onikiri's special skin you could buy. I mean, you've got to be one of the greatest human beings on the planet. Anyway. So, let's start out with Kisei here, shall we? Now, this is the one that I had before. As you can see, I call him Autumn because he uses the fall skin. He is built for attack. He is built for crit. A little bit. Grade 5. A full skill up here. Of course, he has some effect tip because, of course, he has an effect. Now, of course, with him, he's got Seductress. This is one people swear by. I mean, we love Seductress. Seductress is good for almost anything. And in all honesty, on Kisei, Seductress is a love letter. I'm not kidding. This is actually a great one to put on here if you're first trying. And of course, because I love me some crit, we've also got Shadow, giving a little extra speed booster here. And some more attack, because let's face it, if you got someone who can hit multiple times and sometimes one-shot bosses, you want that guy, you want that Shiki moving as fast as you can get him to take it out. But trust me, high attack doesn't matter. If you can hit, if you're moving so fast, you can hit multiple times at a single go. Trust me. Of course, this boost is again crit and crit damage. I really did try to put the focus more on his speed here, because I really just, like I've said, I want him being able to hit off as many hits as possible. Especially because with that effect, I mean, come on. You have to admit, that's pretty useful. But now we move on to the second one I've been building, the Winter Kisei. Grade 4, unevolved, working on his skills. It's currently 2-1-2, so not too far off. This one was because I had this thought in my head of, I wonder how Hyosubi would do on this. And because I'm a dumbass who has to follow through with my experiments, here we are. So what he's got hooked up here was some Hyosubi with a little attack boost, little crit damage boost, definitely taking advantage of the piercing arrow ability, as well as before, speed booster. I know a lot of people will say I'm out of my mind, but Kisei and speed boosting is like unholy fun for me. Now, of course, we have Binikusu Fire Chicken. You know what? I can't pronounce this, so I'm just going to call this Soul the Fire Chicken. Which, if I'm honest, it's mostly here for the crit boosting. And because I had these souls laying around and couldn't figure out what to do with them. But crit damage, a little unholy crit damage, because let's face it. And of course, more of that. So his focus is more or less on his speed, but also heavily going into crit damage. I was literally just trying to make something a little bit different from before, but with a similar. Now, to be honest, Seductress, I like a little bit more, but this has been fun. This has been very fun. So now we move on to Hoshiguma Doji, who everyone will remember from my combat test video featuring him, two of him, Ameona, and my referral in that particular video of enemies can't stop hitting themselves. He is so much fun. And paired with Ameona, that was glorious. I gotta know how he does with another team of evil I've apparently come up with. But as I've mentioned in that grade 5, he is a full skill up. So you know he's hitting confused like a crazy. Confused like crazy. Oopa. And of course, because I am kind of a troll, I couldn't resist adding Temptress to him, just to see if it would increase my odds a little bit without actually increasing my odds. And, pleasant surprise, yes. Now, if that's supposed to work like that, I don't know. But somehow this 25 base chance boosted onto what he already has. I mean, you're guaranteed confused. Might be a little overpowered, but shh, we don't tell people that, right? But yeah, his focus, of course, crit up here. Trying to get an effect hit booster on almost everything I can, but, you know, aside from a few. And just for funsies to add extra harm, the Tsuchigumo mark, because you're already confusing them and sending them after their enemies. Why not also add a little insult to injury with reducing speed and making them hurt themselves? And of course, because you want to keep everyone very confused, speed booster. If you got crowd control and Shiki, having them make sure they get as many moves as fast as possible seems like probably the greatest idea on this planet. Or at least it is to me. Now, the next one here is literally just a focus on him. I mean, we got 96% crit, 96% effect hit here. Coffee still isn't kicked in. Because I hit him up with some Inshoujo, which I admit I love Inshoujo as an effect hit booster, because when you get to the 4 points, you can get rid of some of the, ignore some of that effect resistance. Chef's kiss. Of course, he's meant to attack a little bit more than, you know, the previous, but he's still here to do his job. He's just here to occasionally slap people in the face with a wine bowl. Of course, a tree nymph for an effect hit booster. With, of course, boosting defense, because, I mean, you want to keep him alive. In all honesty, in Shoujo, definitely a fun way to go. But now we move on, of course, to Onikiri. Whew. This was my first one, so of course he gets the special skin once I got gifted it, of course. And I love him, I really do. Scarlet and Onikiri, especially because of even his single move can hit multiple enemies. That is a match made in heaven or a match made in hell, depending on who's on the receiving end of it. And in my case, I love it. Now, of course, it's mostly to take effect of that. He does have a little bit of an effect hit here, and some definitely high on the crit and attack. I mean, yeah, his attack could probably be sky high if I wanted to, but his focus is to be present. And if you're Shiki or getting hit, for him to just start wailing on people. Unfortunately, that leads to a fatal flaw, which I've mentioned multiple times with Onikiri before. Of course, we have Soul Edge here for a little extra HP boost to keep him alive and some other stuff. Again, fully skilled. Damn well better. I love the effects. Glorious. Onikiri is probably one of the Shiki, and I've said this multiple times, who is the most weak to confuse. And I say this as somebody who considers a proof that their choices in building a Shiranui with Confuse, with Temptress on her, as one of the funniest things on the planet, because it confused my opponent in duels, Onikiri, and made him wipe out his own team. That said, I really do believe, and I've seen the proof of this, is that Onikiri is very weak to confuse. Very weak to it. So, for one thing, while I haven't personally done it, because I normally have higher HP and defense, and I'll take a healer anytime I bring him anywhere, because I know something's going to go haywire. Effect resistance. Try to get, at least make sure there's some extra effect resistance on the Shiki, because boy howdy does he need it. Which of course brings us to Shadow Onikiri, the second version I've made, which I built with effect resistance in mind for this one. It sacrifices some of his attack, but you know what? It's a sacrifice needed to be made if it can protect the Shiki I've got on the field. So with him, we have Shadow, of course. Another all-effective one like Seductress. Another effect hit here. And here, of course. And because, like I said, trying to boost his effect resistance is Yamabiko here. Strictly because I had this glorious crit damage soul and I sure as fuck wasn't letting it go to waste. Come on. And down here, and just trying to build that effect resistance. Do I love Scarlet on Onikiri? Yes, absolutely. It's a freaking love letter. I love it. But effect resistance, sacrificing some of his attack for effect resistance, is probably one of the smartest ideas you'll ever make. Just make sure you have plenty of HP and defense as well, just please. But that's a little secret for all you guys going up against Onikiri and freaking out because, like, what? He's weak to confuse. He's very weak to confuse, and I don't know if that's just that he has kind of like a unseen effect resistance, like in the negative or something. Or like somebody rolled like in the negative when they rolled up his stats. I don't know. Take your pick. I love Onikiri, but boy, howdy, is that a nightmare. Hello, Mr. Nab. So, final thoughts. Kisei. Seductress, boosting his crit damage, and his speed. Chef's kiss. Hyasubi is fun. You just gotta build it right. But I can't wait to see him fully skilled up and see just how good this can do to fully have a decision on it. But Seductress is great if you want to go, since you get Seductress souls like crazy around here. Hoshiguma Doji. It don't matter what you put this boy in, he is gonna be fun as hell. But I personally really have a kick out of using Temptress with the Tsuchigumo marks because he basically, it's like he goes crazy. And it's fun. It's glorious. In Shoujo, though, with the extra effect hits, also glorious. So you can go either way, but I would definitely say if you're going to put an effect hit boosting soul on him, to probably go with it in Shoujo because of it helping go through some of the effect resistance. Definitely one of the most fun. And of course, we move on to Onikiri. And I said it when I was saying it. Him and Scarlet is a love letter. It's beautiful. Him and Shadow, also so much fun. So good. But for the love of all that is holy and unholy humans, If you're building him, please remember that he is weak to confuse, and he will wipe out your own team if you're not careful. Try to get some extra effect resistance in there. Trust me, please. And I know that makes you not want to trust me because I say it, but believe me, I wouldn't be telling you this. I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree. He is very weak to confuse at times. But in all honesty, Scarlet, definitely a way to go. Just, again, please, put some effect resistance on this boy. But on that note, I'm going to head off before I get any more dirty looks from some people. And if you would be so kind as to do the holy trifecta of YouTube down below with a like, comment, subscribe, let me know some of your opinions. Tell me to shut up if you feel like it. Or if you got things you want to see, let me know. I'm always in the market for something entertaining. As long as we're not suggesting honey pop. I'll see you around, right?